Hey everybody, this is Indy and I'm bringing you a quick update video on my UI. Now I know I've done a couple of videos in the past where I go into more detail as to the specific settings of each of my UI, like my individual settings. And I'm not going to do that here, but what I will do is go through and tell you the different components of my UI, because I've been getting a lot of questions and comments lately asking me, and at least this way you'll know exactly what I'm using and where to find something if one particular component is something you're interested in having. Now, I did download Aliena's UI interface pack when I started this UI, and everything is included in that. You're going to get the art for the KG panels. She's really awesome to have put this interface pack together. I'm not sure the last time it's been updated, but I'll provide the link in the description below for you to find and download it. Now, you'll want to go through either manually or with Curse Client. I love Curse Client. And update each individual component because it's probably pretty old. But just to kind of go through what I'm using right now from that, let's start with my buff frames. Now up in the upper left hand corner here, I'm actually showing my mouse pointer so you can see where I'm pointing. And this is going to be Citrina's buff frames. I am so happy that it is no longer broken. I was lost without it, but just to let you guys know, if this ever does go non-functional again, you can use a buff mod called Bison, and that is kind of like a good fallback. It's not as good as Citrina's, but just so you know, that way you have a backup. This mod lets you essentially do whatever the hell you want to your buff frames. You can move them, you can display a certain number, show timers, don't show timers, display the order of buffs according to your preference. It's a really nice buff mod. Now going over to the right hand side, you will see Sexy Map, and Sexy Map is cool because you can, it doesn't have to be like all simple like mine. As a matter of fact, I think mine is called Simple Square, but you can adjust the size and location of your map and the design around it. It has a lot of really cool presets, and I'm sure that there's plenty of user created ones to download as well. So that is Sexy Map, and that's pretty much where I keep it because I'm just used to having my map there. Ever since I started playing, it's been there, and I think anywhere else I would just have, it would be too much getting used to for me. So that is what that is. You can also choose to have all of the little mini icons either show up, not show up, or only show up on hover, which I prefer to do that way, because that way, like when I'm healing or raiding, like they're not popping up and looking all ugly on my screen. Now I know a couple of you were like, oh wow, your UI is so cluttered, and I'm kind of, that's, I guess to some it might look cluttered, but for me it's like, I'm like OCD with organization, so I think it looks pretty organized. But hey, if you like the look of this, Aliena's UI interface is pretty much set up this way in this configuration. Now, according to your screen resolution, you'll certainly have to change the KG panels around, but this is pretty much the setup. Now, in the lower right-hand corner, we have a KG panel, and I set this up as the chat window on top of it. And the chat mod that I use is Pratt. Now, Pratt is really cool because you can fully customize your chat, the look of it, and how your channels display. In addition, I have, you know, of course, tabs going across the top for each individual thing. So I'm not like broadcasting tells or anything like that when I stream or fraps. So that's that mod over there. It's really pretty, and you can fully customize it. In the center here, well, across the side and center, you'll see my action bars, and these are well, both a combination of button facade and dominoes. Dominoes is the configuration, and if I open this screen here, I will show you dominoes. Go into add-ons, dominoes, configure bars, and now you see that pretty much all of your bars here, extra action button, that's why it was always up there. So yeah, you can pretty much move them around, scale them up, scale them down, break them apart. It's just it's a really cool mod to have, so I will play with that later. I didn't even realize that was up in the middle of nowhere, but that's how that works. And to turn a bar completely off or on, you just have to middle click, and you can turn on or off visibility. So fully customizable button, action bar mod. I love it, easy to use, and simply click exit when you're done and everything is locked into place. Now, I was also talking about button facade. When you go into your add-on interface list, it's actually going to come up as mask. You have to download the updated version, MASQUE mask, and in that you will see add-ons and profiles. And as you can see here, Citrina's Buff Frames is currently using it. So you would actually have to go in and manually disable anything that you didn't want affected by mask. And then the global settings, you could make everything that particular overlay. I use Vista. I think it's really nice looking and appealing. So yeah, let's go in and talk about my unit frames. This here, I prefer a very basic plain unit frame. I realize a lot of you guys like to have the animated portraits, you know, show up in the health bar or to the side, and they look really awesome. But I'm the type of person, like when I'm healing and raiding, all of that like crazy flashy movement stuff, it's like kind of a distraction for me. This lets me kind of zone in on what I'm doing. So having a really clean, plain unit frame. However, these unit frames that I use, stuff unit frames, this comes with the interface download pack that I was telling you about earlier. There is the functionality there to, if you want to, and I'll go in and actually show you. I'm not going to turn them on or anything, but I'll just show you that. When you go into stuff, and you can go into config mode, and config mode is neat because you can actually see where everything's going to show up, even if it's not currently active. You can go into toggle drag, and that means that you can go anywhere on the screen and drag your unit frames where you'd like them to be. Just uncheck that when you're done, and it will lock everything into place. But as you can see here, if you go into like player and target, you can turn on portraits, and within that you can have 3D. So that functionality is there, I just prefer not to use it. So moving right along to my cooldown bar, most of you guys have already seen this or already use it. It's called Forte Exorcist. And you can, you know, make the bar as long or short as you want. You can have certain cooldowns show up, certain cooldowns not. I prefer not to show like stupid things like my Hearthstone or things that aren't going to really affect my healing. I really only want to see my healing cooldowns here. Pain suppression, power infusion, you know, palm, rapture I have an individual cooldown for, and we'll get into that when we go into power auras, but that's what this bar is here. Forte Exorcist. On top of the center unit here, you're going to see my grid. Now, usually this is full of 24 other lovely people, and that just stays right in the center there. That's where I prefer my healing mod, and I think that's where most healers have their UI for healing. Okay, I promise I am done stumbling over my words now. I think too much talking in the past few days. Too many narratives get me like tripping over my own words. Okay, moving along. In the lower right hand corner here is Skada. Skada is my damage and heal meter, and I use Skada because I like the way it looks. I mean, really, you can use whatever your preference is in a damage meter. It's just, it's there for you, and it's not really going to affect anything else. So that's what I use there. So power auras are kind of a bitch to set up if you don't really know how, and I honestly don't like setting up my own power auras, so I like using other people's, and I found some really cool ones that track evangelism, rapture, prayer of mending, power infusion, and so those will all display right up here during a raid, right above my grid. So in most of my healing videos, you will see that. So, okay, what did we go through here? Addy bags. Oh, okay. Everybody usually asks me, let me just open my bags here for you so you can see all the garbage that I have. But more important than my garbage, don't call hoarders on me, because I'm trying not to hoard in these bags, but it does organize your things, and you can turn different things on or off with this, but I love that in one window it will organize quest items, trade goods. When you loot something new, it will show up at the very top and say new, like, hey, you just looted this, look, look, look. and armor set pieces that you have set up in your outfitter. All kinds of stuff. You can display your badges, valor stuff down below, your gold, all that stuff. So add Ebags for that. Click, as you all know, is a click healing mod. I'm not going to go through my individual settings, but I will say that when you go into your spellbook, this is so easy, really. Like, put your hands where you normally comfortably play, and then go into the bottom tab where it says click binding configuration. And in the configuration mode, you'll be able to hover over any of your spells, click the binding that you want to have assigned to it, and it will automatically save it. It's so easy to set up, and yeah, I mean, click is just the healing mod of choice that I use. Angela's Rapture. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It could be Angela. My name's Angela, so I always want to just say it like my name, but it's not me. So Angela's Rapture is something else I use to track Rapture cooldowns, and it's really easy. You could essentially just download it and plug and play it. You don't really have to go through setting it up any further unless you want to customize the look and feel of it. Quartz casting bars, yay! This is something I probably should have brought up sooner, but Quartz is the cast bar mod that I use. If you hit toggle bar lock, okay, now you'll see, let me just hover over here, you'll see that these casting bars are, this is going to be above my focus. This one here is going to be in the, I have them display in the big health bar portion of my stuff unit frames, and you can change the color. You can change how it changes color when it's channeling, or if it fails, or if it completes. So Quartz 3 is the cast bar mod. Rating Buster is the mod that I use for, really what it does is if I have a piece of gear, let's just go into Ebags real quick. And I know I have a piece of PvP gear in here somewhere or something. Oh, here. Let's use my Loop of the Kirin Tor. This is my lazy way to get to raid. I go to Dalaran and port to Caverns of Time. So, anyway, as you can see, let's look at the bottom. This is Rating Buster. It shows you the stat summary, and you can have it show as few or as many stat comparisons as you want. So that's Rating Buster. That's how it works. When you hover over something, it will break it down for you in a manner in which you're most comfortable looking at. So that's that one. Going into KG Panels Config. Now, when you first download this interface pack, if you're using the entire thing, including the KG panels, you're gonna have to set this up according to your resolution. In other words, when you first download it, it might look like a real mess on your screen. You're gonna have to go into each of the panels, active panels, and as you can see here, unlock them. And which one did I unlock? Okay, so I unlocked the middle. Now, I'm not really gonna mess with this because I have it just how I want it, but you'll see a little arrow in the bottom. You can actually click and drag this anywhere on your screen. Alternatively, you can resize it. So you'll have to do this with each panel. And you can make more active panels too if you want, or fewer. But this is how I have it set up. Just don't forget to lock them when you're done, because otherwise you'll move them all over your screen when you don't want to, and you'll be like, oh my god, what a mess. I totally forgot before I end this one, clear font. If you guys are wondering how to change all of the fonts in the game, like as you can see when I open this, like all of the fonts show up as a pretty avant-garde. That is clear font, and if you type /clear font, you'll see all of the different options to turn it on, off, select your font, select the scale. This is all clear font. So that's pretty much it, guys. I think I'm done talking about my mods. It's kind of boring, but again, link to Aliena's UI interface pack is in the description. I'd like to thank her again very much for making this UI pack available, because if I didn't download that, my mods would probably look pretty ugly and bland and yucky still. So I really appreciate this artwork and UI compilation, and I use it to this day, and I don't think I plan on changing it like ever. So hopefully this has been a little bit of help to you guys. If you have any more questions, certainly send them to me, but again, I'm probably not going to go into like real detail about how my things are set up, because it's boring and you guys don't want to use my my exact settings, like, because that's just boring. So thanks again for watching, you guys. I'm going to close this video out here before I ramble on and on and on. Again, this is Indy with TGN. Thanks for watching. See you next time, guys. This video has been part of the Way movement. To find out more, visit tgn.tv.